Hello everyone, it is Arickamisha. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. God did want me to come and share. I am here to share this. Looking at my notes, they called you to listen, but you made it about yourself. And the scriptures that God led me to, Proverbs the 18th chapter, the 13th verse, Proverbs 13 and 13, Proverbs 17 and 27. And when you have time, make sure you go read those scriptures. I am here sharing today something that, I'm not proud of, but God wanted me to come and share. So I am here sharing my business, praying that it helps you with your business. I said, God, do you really want me to share this? Because this is embarrassing, God. This ain't one of my proudest moments. This is not one of my best moments. And God said, yeah, this is the moment that I want you to share. Really, God? Really? So someone called me the other day, and they called me. You know how people call you to vent. How people call you to vent. They're going through a lot, get stuff off their chest. So this particular person called me, talking. They were going through a lot, dealing with a lot, and they were going through a lot. And I was listening to them, and then they were sharing what they were going through. And so as they were talking, I began to think about my own problems, and my flesh stepped in. I began to think about my own problems. And then you know what? I made it about me. I started talking about my problems. I started talking about what I was going through, what I was dealing with. And as I was talking, God said to me, they didn't call you for that. They didn't call you about your problems. They called you to listen to them. And you're making this about you. God said, nah, that's not what you're supposed to be doing. In this moment, God said, you're not supposed to be doing that. And God had to correct me. He did. I'm telling you, I am not proud of this. I am not. But God wanted me to come and share this. They called you to listen, and you made it about yourself, God said. And as I was talking, God said that to me. And I was like, I immediately said, I heard God say it. I heard him say that. He's like, what you doing? Like, they called you to talk to you, and you're making this about you. You're what? God said, what are you doing? God said, you're not supposed to be doing that. What are you doing? And in my spirit, I apologized to God, and I said, God, I'm so sorry. And then the individual I was talking to, and I said, you know what? I said, I'm sorry. I said, this isn't about me. I said, I apologize. And I'm telling you, I really did, because I talk to a lot of people. I minister to a lot of people, and you know what though, I can understand. I totally understood what God was saying, because I myself, I'm sure we all have experienced where we call someone, you call somebody to vent and get stuff off your chest, and then they make it about them. They start talking about their problems. You're like, wait, I didn't call you for that. So I understand. I totally understood what God was saying to me. And God's like, what are you doing? And I totally get it. I totally understand about just allowing my flesh. Because, people call you talking about their problems all the time. And then, I got stuff going on too. I got this going on. Like my flesh just got in the way. And God was like, no, that's not what you're supposed to be doing. Hello, this moment ain't about you. This moment isn't about you. And God was saying to me, how can I continue to have you minister to people when people come to you for you to minister to them and be there for them when you won't even listen? You're not even listening. God said you're worried about your own problems. You ain't even listening to what they saying. You so busy worried about your problem, what you got going on. God said, talk to me about that later. God said, but right now you need to be listening. And I'm telling you, it's what God said to me. God had to correct me. So I know if God told me to come share this, I know it's going to help somebody. telling my business to help y'all with y'all business. Sharing my spiritual journey. And I pray that it may help someone along their spiritual journey. And it's what God was saying to me. It's what he was saying to me. He said, no, ma'am. God said, no, ma'am. I don't think so. I know you're not. And, I really did. I felt bad because I'm like, wow, here this individual coming to me, and God, had them come to me. And here I am talking about my own, what? Just selfish, just in the flesh, and like I said, I know I did that because I was thinking about my own problems. Like when people come to you talking about their problems, you think about, well, golly, I got stuff going on too, and that's exactly what it was. It was that kind of moment where I was like, well, I got stuff going on too, but I should have been more in control of my flesh. I should have been more in control and allow my spirit to say, hey, yeah, you do got problems going on. You go to God about that. Lady, you talk to God about that. Didn't you already talk to God about that? So you just listen to this individual right now and don't worry about your problems. But I'm telling you, it's a lot, being in ministry and being that person that people come to. And it's a lot, when you have a lot going on yourself and people come to you, with what's going on in their lives. It is, and it's hard sometimes to say, hey, let me put what I'm going through to the side and minister to this person and be there for this person. It's not always easy, is what I'm saying. It's not always easy, and God got on me about it, and God's like, what are you doing? God said, you ain't new to this. God said, you ain't a novice. What you doing? He said, are you seriously doing that right now? And I did. I felt bad, and I prayed. I talked to God. I apologized to the individual on the phone, and I apologized to God, and I said, God, please forgive me. I was wrong for that. So I'm here sharing this, and I know if God has me here sharing this, it's to help somebody, Somebody calling you to talk to you, listen, don't make it about your problems. Don't think about your problems, Just put put what you're going through to the side and just hear them, listen to them, let them vent, let them talk to you, because I'm sure, like I said, we all know what it's like to call somebody and we're trying to talk to them and vent to them and they make it about them. I know what that feels like. I know. And I'm sure we all have experienced that. So you don't like that feeling, so you don't want to make nobody else feel that way. And when I apologized to the individual, they were like, thank God. They were like, oh, it's okay. Oh, yeah, I understand. And then they continue to talk about what they were going through. And I thank God for that, because they could have been like, well, I don't even want to talk to you no more because you talking about your problems, But I think with me apologizing, God leading me to apologize. And you know what? You never know. Maybe they were feeling some kind of way about me venting about my problems. And that's why God said, hey, wait, stop. What you doing? So, and I never want people to feel like that come to me, that trust me and talk to me about things. I never want them to feel like, oh, well, if I call her, she's going to be talking about her problems, So I never want people to feel that way. So that's what God wanted me to come and talk about today. I pray that it helps someone. I really do pray that it helps someone, because I'm here telling my business, and it's not one of my proudest moments, but like I said, I'm here to share what God wants me to share. And I know there are going to be things in life that God has me sharing here on my spiritual platform that I'm not going to be proud of, but I am going to share, what God wants me to share. So I'm here to help someone, and I pray that this does. Thank you guys so much for watching, and God bless.